talk about how advisors need to focus on building relationships, and yet, of course, there is a very skilled piece of work they're trying to do. They're supposed to be doing. I think it's a discredit to the industry to suggest that all advisors do is sell canned portfolios to their clients. That's really not what the industry is being called to do. It's being called to provide counsel, to provide comfort, and then provide solutions, right? Now, the problem is, actually, I think it's completely unreasonable to expect an advisor to actually provide solutions to their clients in a very efficient way, all on their own. You talked about how there's so much data out there, and there absolutely is. It's data overload, right? An advisor who wants to advise their clients sort of in an interactive way needs to miraculously remember everything about the client, understand everything that's going on in the portfolio, understand everything that's going on in the market, understand a ton of investment philosophy, of investment theory, and then bring that all together on the fly into a live conversation. That's an incredible ask. That solution generation cycle tends to happen offline. And so what that means is maybe an advisor meets with a client, and next week there'll be a solution, there'll be a proposal. And yet think about how different that conversation could be if there was a tool that was pulling together all that information, making the most relevant pieces of that information available dynamically as the conversation's going on. That could allow the client and the advisor to reach a solution in the meeting and really provide a much richer conversation. I think one of the examples I love to talk about is something as simple as, you imagine you have a client come in, their existing investments are a little overweight equities, and you don't know exactly why. It looks like their portfolio is a little over-risked. And so what our system will do is it will analyze the existing portfolio. It'll make those observations that the portfolio is both over-risked and overweight U.S. equities. And then it'll start suggesting conversation topics on one side of the screen. It'll say, okay, it's over-risked. Are there maybe assets that we don't know about? Should we ask the client about maybe a bunch of cash in a bank account that makes them their overall portfolio much less risky than it appears? But the system actually suggests, well, do you want to talk about the Trump tax cuts? Here's some supplemental information. Do you want to talk about investing in U.S. infrastructure? Here's some information, right? Do you want to talk about equity evaluations? Here's some information. And so it really supports that conversation. At the same time, right, if actually the answer is, no, it was an accident, the portfolio is over-risked and overweight U.S., well, then further down the screen, it generates a bunch of actions today. It generates a bunch of actionable suggestions for the advisor to discuss with the client, maybe rebalancing the portfolio. And so all of that kind of happens in experience for us.